Good day, fish tankers. Today I'm going to talk about a tetra that I think should be a lot more popular in the hobby than it is. And I'm talking about these guys, the Diamond Tetra. It's a tetra of a really unique look with those shimmering tinfoil-like scales. It's a great community fish, does great in planted tanks and is relatively unfussy. Sounds interesting? Stick around. I think part of the reason why they're not so popular is because when they're young, they don't look like much. Like these, you see, are just starting to get that shimmer in a dealer's tank, but they don't look like much when they're small. You need to grow them out a little bit and then they really become beautiful. That's how my first group of Diamond Tetras started, in this very same tank they're in now. There's still two of our originals left, a big male and female. That's how they started off before the tank was as overgrown as it is now. And you can see they're a good community fish. They get along well with their tank mates. The normal rule applies, you know, whatever can fit into a fish's mouth will usually become food. So don't keep them with tiny nano fish, but you'll see here they're here with a wide variety of different kinds of fish. There's some cherry barbs in there, even a few geriatric guppies, rosy tetras, as well as some ottos. You see the male has a beautiful display that he does with a female, which you can see there. There you see the female is more plump and the dorsal fin is your mark. It's much shorter, and here you see the male, the dorsal fin is much longer. You can see there in that photo how it curves backwards, and also that beautiful red eye. But the dorsal fin is how you distinguish the male from the female. Now, tank size, they're a bigger tetra. As these heart-shaped tetras go, they're bigger than your lemon tetras or your Serpay, black phantom or red phantom tetras, and they like to be in a group. It doesn't have to be a big group, it can be 3 or 4. More is better, but they're not a tight shoaling fish. So you need a tank, I would say, of at least about 100 liters, a 3-foot tank. That would be the best, and bigger is always better. And then as far as water goes, nothing special, the usual tropical parameters, 6.5 to 7.5. They like it a bit more acidic, so they can go lower to even 5.5. These are on water somewhere between 7 and 7.5. So they can take a wide range of water as long as the water is good quality. Zero ammonia nitrite, and I like to keep nitrates below 25 ppm. Water has much less nitrate in this particular tank. Temperature, once again, normal tropical temperature between 24 and 27 degrees Celsius will do. Food quite unfussy. You see they'll eat any proprietary dried food and frozen food as long as it's good quality. And they like a medium sort of water flow. Not very fast, not a river flow, but they like a bit of water flow. But if it's low flow, that is also okay. And they like a planted tank. Don't put them in a bare tank. They like to have plants. The male can get a little bit aggressive towards other males, and sometimes it can be a bit hard on the female. So you need plants where they can just take a bit of a break from each other, and then they spend a lot more time in the open water. And there you see it. If you have a heavily planted tank like mine, there's a baby that popped up once again. There you see the little baby Diamond Tetra. It's actually tiny. There you can see how tiny it is. I've got 2 of these tiny ones that I spotted in the tank, but you see how thickly planted it is. Some of the eggs survive. There is the baby again. And once they're on this size, even though they can still technically get eaten, they tend to survive. So here are 2 juveniles, 2 sub-adults. So they started as tiny little fish that survived there, and that's what they look like now. They've right after a big meal, that's why their stomachs are so full. But that's what the juveniles look like, and soon, in a few months' time, will be adults like those 2 there. There you see the male and the female displaying again. There's 2 sub-adults, and there's a couple of tiny fry there as well. I think it's a great tetra. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing. And until we see each other again, keep taking good care of those domestic denizens of the deep.